City remain your leaders over in League One with an unbeaten start to the campaign. Joining them in the top two is Stevenage. But keep an eye on those peckerheads. I'm talking about Bradford City. They're in third. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at match number 7 over in League One. That's right. It's a bit of a disrupted week, of course, with the international break going on. Some matches going ahead, some matches cancelled. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe, your subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, League One football, World football. We're going to, here under one Rooski. That's right. We've got, I think, 4 postponements, but of course, we've got enough fixtures to warrant a video. So we're going to take a look at them, all of them, in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are, but let's remind ourselves of what went on this past weekend over in League One. That's right. Of course, these are my results. Hopefully on the screen now. There we go. My predictions on the left-hand side. The real deal is on the right. Cardiff look good, don't they? 4-0 winners over Plymouth. Argyle, who look in trouble. With a 2-0 win. Doncaster with a clean sheet. 1-0 winners over Rotherham. I went with a 2-1 win myself. Barnsley, big 3-1 victory over Huddersfield. They are the real deal. I went with a draw myself. Blackpool, Bolton, 1-1. I went with a 2-2. Bradford City with a 3-2 win over Wimbledon. What a game that was. They're just non-stop right now, Bradford City. I went with a 2-1 win myself. Burton did lose to Luton Town. I went with a 2-1. It was a 3-0. Exeter did beat Peterborough 3-0. I went with a 2-0 win. Leyton Orient did lose, though, to Northampton Town, which was a surprise. Lincoln City and Mansfield with a draw, got that one spot on the nose. Reading with a 1-0 win over Port Vale, got that one spot on the nose. And Stevenage lost, won over Wycombe. And then Wigan and Stockport duked it out to a 1-1 score. Not too shabby there, guys, I must say, for myself. The prediction king right here, right now. The table, though, looks like this. As you see it, it is Cardiff. 16 points for them. Just a couple of points dropped so far. Stevenage are in second. And then you have Bradford. Then you have Barnsley. Then you have Doncaster and Huddersfield. There's a very Yorkshire kind of vibe to that playoffs at the moment. Meanwhile, going down, it's Peterborough, it's Port Vale, it's Wycombe, it's bloody Plymouth. But it is, honestly, right now, I'm stunned. I'm stunned with the names that are down there. Woo, that's my chair. We do have a prediction league and it is live. Of course, we're going to bring you bang up to date with that next week. Of course, I have a whole week of prep time to get them all calculated and showcase you who is, of course, trying to challenge me for the prediction honours. So we'll take a look at that, of course, next week. But these are the next round of games and they're coming at you this coming match day. Now, anything with an asterisk means it's being postponed. So I'm not going to do a deep dive into those, but I'm going to give you my prediction anyway whenever that game comes around. So the Blackpool Luton Town is not going to go ahead, unfortunately. I don't think it might be a good time for Blackpool because I don't think they would have won this game. I think Luton Town do look good right now. I would have went with a Luton Town victory, 2-1 win on that one. But the next game does go ahead, according to my data. It is Bolton. It is Wimbledon coming at you at the Community Stadium. Bolton and the Stephen Schumacher are the draw kings right now. 4 draws on the bounce. Up against Wimbledon, Johnny Jackson, they are not they're in okay form right now. Actually, they're above Bolton in the table with 12th. Compared to Bolton's 14th, but they have lost 3 of the last 4 matches. They played 6 times in 2016, 2 wins Bolton. Nothing with Wimbledon. There's been 4 draws. They last played at Bolton. It was a 4-0 win. And then prior to that, 3 draws on the bounce. Actually, 4 draws on the bounce. So we've got Bolton, the draw kings. This result traditionally ends in a draw over the 4 of the last 5. Where are we going to go with this one? Bolton are on the back of 4 successive draws. Bradford did beat Wimbledon last time around. The odds for this one, 10-7 on is your Bolton, 50-4 is your away win, 29-10 is the draw. So it does smell like a draw. But I'm actually going to go with Bolton to win this one. 2-1 win in the end. Cardiff against Burton again. Postponed because they've got a whole lot of talent at Cardiff. And yeah, again, Burton started off the season okay. Now kind of drifting off a little bit. And maybe the cream is starting to rise to the top already. Would have went with a 3-0 win if the game was to go ahead. Meanwhile, next up, we've got Doncaster Rovers up against Bradford City. That's right. This match, according to my data, does go ahead. Of course, at the keep mode, Bradford City doing A-OK. Doncaster not too shabby as well in regards to the league position. They are 5th Doncaster compared to Bradford's 3rd. We're looking at just 1 point between the two sides. Grant McCann's Doncaster just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against Bradford, who are unbeaten in the last 6. These two sides have played 25 times in 2004. 11 wins for the hosts, 9 wins for the visitors. There's been 5 draws. They last played at the keep mode. It was a 2-1 win for Doncaster last season, back in April 2025, at, of course, in League 2. Doncaster on the back of back-to-back clean sheets. Bradford on the back of that 3-2 goal fest against Wimbledon. This one's goal bonanza on it. On paper, you think back. Well, actually, looking at it, actually, you know, Bradford are scoring goals. Doncaster keeping clean sheets. 5-4 is your Doncaster. 21-10 is your Bradford. 12-5 is the draw. I am actually going with a ball fest here. 0-0. Clean sheets galore, and of course the vibes keep on rolling for these two teams at the moment. Meanwhile, Huddersfield up against Peterborough. That's going ahead. According to my data, they are 6th right now. Huddersfield up against Peterborough, who are bottom, 24th right now. They played 15 times in 2003, 6 wins apiece and 3 draws. Huddersfield coming into this on the back of 4 wins in the last 6 up against Peterborough, who are winless in at least the last 8 matches. They have played 15 times. They last played at Huddersfield. It was a 1-0 win for the Posh back in February 2025. Huddersfield, though, losing to Barnsley last week. Of course, they do still reeling from that Premier League victory, victory over the Premier League side, Sunderland in the Cup. Peterborough, though, on the back of that 3-0 loss to Exeter. They're looking to recharge, get some new strikers in there. Harry Leonard looks set to join them. The odds for this one, though, is 2-1 on as your Huddersfield, 5-1 as your Peterborough, and 7-2 is the draw. Unfortunately, I don't think the win's going to come, but I think they'll get a goal. 3-1 win. Huddersfield are, of course, a threat. This season, League One does look pretty spicy. I've got to give you that. Lincoln up against Wigan, coming at you at the Sinsel Bank. That's right, Lincoln and Marcus Gabula. They are 9th right now, 11 points for them, unbeaten in at least the last 6. Up against Wigan and Orion Low, they are 13th. 8 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6 themselves. They played 8 times, these two clubs, since 2023. Wins Lincoln, 2 wins Wigan, 3 draws between the two sides, including 3 of the last 4 between these two sides. They last played at Sinsel Bank. It resulted in a 0-0 scoreline. That was back in September 2024. Lincoln also on the back of a draw. Wigan on the back of a draw. Could this be another draw? 5-4 is your Lincoln. 23-10 is your Wigan. 21-10 is the draw right here, right now. Gonna go with a surprise, though. 2-1 win. Scabula's boys are cooking. Meanwhile, Plymouth Argyle taking on Stockport County, coming at you over at Plymouth. Of course, not good for them at the moment under Tom Cleverley. Just 3 points for the season. 4 defeats in the last 5. Up against Stockport under David Challoner. Also just 1 win in the last 5. They've played 5 times since 2002. 5 wins for the Green Army. 1 win for Stockport. No draws, of course. Last time they played at Plymouth, it was a 3-1 win for the hosts there. They've actually got back-to-back wins over Stockport. They've scored 7 goals in the last 2 games when they played them at this very venue. But Plymouth are on the back of a 4-0 loss to Cardiff. Their tails are down right now. Meanwhile, Stockport on the back of a draw. While Stockport are on the back of a 1-1 draw against Wigan, having played them back-to-back matches. The odds for this one, 21-10 is your Plymouth, 6-5 is your Stockport, 5-2 is the draw here, guys. I think the Green Army do lose this one. I don't know. I've gone with a 2-0 away. I think that, it's a difficult one to call. I don't know why I'm going with that one. I'm having read the data, I might have lent towards a Green Army victory, but I'm going to stick to my guns, stick to my gut, and that was my gut. Meanwhile, Port Vale there taking on a Leyton Orient. That's coming at you over at Vale Park. Darren Moore's boys are 23rd with just 2 points for the season. Up against the Orient under Richie Wellens, just 1 win in the last 5 for them. They have played 16 times in 2006, 5 wins Port Vale, 7 wins Orient. There's been 4 draws between the two sides, including 2 of the last 3. The last played at Vale Park, though, back in February 2024, resulting in a 1-0 win for the Orient. Meanwhile, Port Vale on the back of a 1-0 loss to Reading. Of course, they knocked out Moneybags FC Birmingham in the Cup earlier in the week. Meanwhile, Leyton Orient on the back of that 1-0 loss to Northampton. Back-to-back defeats for them, not looking good at the moment. The odds for this one, when we look at it, what are we looking at? 5-4, your Port Vale, 2-1, your Orient, 5-2 is the draw. The bookies are going with Port Vale on this one, I think. I might go with a draw here, point in the bag. We'll see about that. Next up, it would have been, it should have been, it could have been Reading up against Northampton Town, but this game has been postponed, so it's not going ahead according to my knowledge. But if it was going to go ahead, I would have gone with a Reading victory on that one. Moving on to Rotherham up against Exeter City. That match is scheduled to go ahead. It's coming at you at the New York Stadium. That's right. And Matthew Hamshaw's boys are 19th right now. Winless in the last 4, just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Exeter under Gary Caldwell, they've won 3 and they lost 3. And they sit 11th right now, which is pretty decent with 9 points. 6 times they played since 2008, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws. They last played over at the New York Stadium and it resulted in a 1-1 scoreline back in March 2025. Rotherham on the back of back-to-back defeats, of course. Exeter on the back of a big 3-0 win over Peterborough. The odds right here, right now, for this one, looking at it. What are we looking at? We're looking at Rotherham. 6-5 is your Rotherham, 21-10 is your Exeter, 5-2 with the draw. I might be leaning to the away side here because Rotherham have been shite. Going to go with a 2-0 win. Exeter taking the bag, taking the points, and going, moving up the table. And then Stevenage against Barnsley is postponed. Barnsley looking good right now. Stevenage looking good. This would have been an absolute showstopper of a match, but of course we're going to have to wait for it. It's going to be played another time. I'm going to go with I would have went with a 2-1 win for Barnsley against the high-flying Stevenage. But we wrap it all up with a trip to Adams Park. It's Wycombe against Mansfield coming at you right here, right now. Of course, Wycombe are struggling under Mike Dodds. They currently find themselves 22nd with 2 points up against Mansfield and Nigel Clough, who are 10th and only lost once in the last 6. They played 24 times in 2003. 10 wins Wycombe, 6 wins Mansfield. There's been 8 draws between these two sides. They last played at Wycombe, resulting in a 1-0 win for Wycombe. That was back in November 2024. They're coming into this Wycombe on the back of that 1-0 loss to Stevenage. Mansfield on the back of that 1-1 scoreline at Lincoln. The odds here 11-10 is your Wycombe, 12-5 is your Mansfield, 12-5 is the draw. Now, I think I've gone with Wycombe here, but realistically on paper they don't deserve it. Mansfield should probably win this on form, but football is a funny old game. It's a funny old game, and I just think Wycombe will get the result here. 2-1 winners in my eyes. I'm not saying it's going to start a revival for Wycombe, and it might be a little bit hard done by young Mansfield. But if I'm right, which I bloody well hope so, including the games that are postponed, this is what the table will look like, something along these lines. Of course, it won't be because those games are postponed. And then we'll have the Prediction League, which, of course, will probably include those postponed games as well. So that is it, guys. Subscribe wherever you are in the world. Smash the likey, and of course, I'll see you soon when I return with an updated Prediction League, and I'm done.